This is a poem by C.P. Cavafy, translated by Edmund Keeley and Philip Sherrard, which I will follow by a poem of my own. The mirror in the front hall. The luxurious house had a huge mirror in the front hall, a very old mirror, bought at least 80 years ago. A very handsome boy, a tailor's assistant, on Sundays an amateur athlete, stood there with a package. He gave it to one of the household who took it in to get the receipt. The tailor's assistant was left alone, waiting there. He went up to the mirror, looked at himself, and adjusted his tie. 5 minutes later, they brought him the receipt. He took it and went away. But the old mirror that had seen so much during a life of many years, thousands of objects and faces, the old mirror was all joy now, proud to have embraced total beauty for a few moments. As Dylan Thomas remarked, that was the jam, now comes the pill. Anyhow, it has been my habit or proclivity upon occasion to follow a poem, particularly when I'm working in some kind of form, written by somebody else, and transpose it to the form that I am working with. So this is a poem of my own, following the poem that I just read by Cavafy. Much more, I guess you would say, ornate. I haven't looked at this for years, but just glancing at the last line, I see something of Machado in there. Obviously, my influences were just passing through me. I haven't read it probably since a week after it was written, which is, let me think, probably 18 years ago. So here it is. It does not have a title. I should say, when I say that was the jam, here comes the pill, you have to wipe of that image any sense of the efficacy of pills for the purpose of healing. I don't expect my poem to have so salutary an effect. In its front hall, the grand and stately mansion held a huge mirror, and very, very old, purchased some 80 years ago, antique, if not 100, and had graced that place through many generations, it be told, as in its deep reflection come to seek the confirmation of a proper face, or vestment not unkempt, as under scansion a verse be scrutinized. Upon one day there came a handsome boy, assistant to the tailor with a package to deliver, as was a weekend athlete, and he view himself therein, of package that was giver, now waiting his receipt, cost to defray. Some several minutes merely, so he looked upon himself, adjusted of his clothing before that mirror, a clean reflecting glass, and then came the receipt, and he must go. But oh, that mirror, that of much lust and loathing had been the witness, as the years must pass, so many faces as themselves do show, figures and forms, a neck as craned or crooked. That ancient mirror, so wise with many years' experience and wizened, now was joy, all joy for having but briefly embraced such perfect beauty, young and handsome boy, for a few minutes. Now within that chaste hallway grown turbulent with tears. So, now having read this after all that time, it sounds a lot more like Hopkins, too, with the twisty, winnowy phrases all over the place. Kind of pretty overwrought, I think you could say. Obviously, no comparison to the Cavafy poem which preceded it, and probably a debasement, but it was what I was doing at the time.